Hi there, welcome to the Gardens and Graveyard channel. My name is Charisma, and today we're meeting in the garden and we're going to remove all of our annuals from all of our baskets and containers that we have all over the property, as well as any annuals that happen to be in the ground, which I don't think there's very many, but there's a few. So all the containers are basically just looking like this: some green foliage, a tiny little sparkle of color left, but they're going down, and they won't produce any more flowers. It gets cold at night. We hit 44 last night, and our days are just barely getting over 50. And that's what the rest of the winter is going to look like. And we have a really great forecast for the next 10 days, or I guess it's like 8 days now, of just really beautiful weather, which is an awesome time to go ahead and cut back our perennials, cut back any shrubs that I haven't gotten to yet. Just tidy up the garden, get rid of all the annuals, decorate for fall, and just get ready for winter and not have to do it when everything's sopping wet and cold. So for the next few days, that's what I'm going to be doing. And today I'm going just to go around and empty all the pots. We used Proven Winner annuals in all of our pots this year, so I don't suspect that there will be any viable soil left in any of them, because the root systems will be extensive. So all the plants will just go into the compost. If by chance I have any containers with soil left over, I will be emptying the containers of the soil in one specific area to just add to an area that needs more soil, but we won't be saving that soil for any fall containers or winter containers. We're actually just gonna do like maybe 3 or 5 containers with fall pansies, and that's it. I'm not gonna go overboard on planting in the fall. Sometimes I do this back porch and in front of the greenhouse, and the front porch all fall crazy, but this year I'm keeping it really simple. We're just going to do the front yard, or in front of the front deck and the deck railing baskets, I believe. So I have a flat of pansies that I'll be using for that, and we'll be getting some pumpkins in a couple of days, and that's going to be kind of it for fall. But today I'm really looking forward to getting rid of all of these spent plants out and stored away, and we will be putting all of our containers, washing them out, putting them in the garage for storage so that they can just be protected for the winter. So easy peasy, we're just gonna yank them out and take them to compost. As I imagined, completely root bound with very little soil left. So this whole thing will just go straight into the compost, and then we have a fairly empty container that we could just rinse out and store away. Down here we have a non-proven winners petunia. It was really pretty. It's still looking pretty green, but I don't want to have to figure out what's going on with it later. So we're just gonna take it out now. Wherever it is coming from. Some of these plants can be considered perennials. This this is a weeping fuchsia, which I will hang on to. We'll put it in. I'm gonna try to save this and put it in the greenhouse. And I would like to see if I could overwinter our coleus in the greenhouse. I'm just curious if it would work or not. And this is the only coleus we have. So when I take out the perennials and do a little saving of perennials for the greenhouse, probably tomorrow, I'll pot these guys up and put them in some kind of protection. And then this pot will just be empty for the winter. Over here we have these containers with the canna lilies in them, and below the canna lilies we have these Supertunia lovey-doveys. This plant is about 3.5 feet wide. It's growing up onto the deck, spilling out in front of the container. So it's every bit 5 feet wide. And of course it had a beautiful show all summer long. This is one plant. One. I also put one plant in this bed. We have some volunteer bird seed. And I'm trying to gently pull the, also have a volunteer plantain. Those. Gently pulling out the lovey-dovey so I don't destroy anything else that's growing in here, but it's gotta go. Oh yeah, those look just so much healthier now. Over here we do have Spencer's Little Corner Garden, which does have several annuals in it. We're leaving those for now. We're just gonna let the Black-Eyed Susan vine go as long as it will until it's done. I am gonna be transplanting the snapdragons with the perennials in the next couple of days. And over here, we are going to take out the giant pinks, proven winners. Now, they're actually still looking pretty fantastic. You know, big, giant, bright colored flowers. But I know that very soon they are going to fail. And I'm just ready for something new. And I don't want to have to drag it out too long. And there we go. You don't even notice, other than the pink, I'll miss, you know, a little bright, cheerful color, but these dahlias have gotten so large that they've taken over the pots. And with any luck, they'll bloom in the next week or so, because I just don't think that the sun's gonna support much more growth. If nothing else, they will be dug out and put somewhere else for next spring. Clearly much too large to place in front of the greenhouse. Now, I also have some annuals in the greenhouse that need to be cleaned up, but we'll do that in a separate video. I have some plants that need to come in here, some plants that need to come out of here. So I'll do that separately. That's gonna be all of my annuals for the backyard. So let's go ahead and take this wagon. What is that? That's 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 plants. That's just a huge amount of debris for 10 plants. My goodness. Look at that. I have this bed of begonias and impatiens, which still look absolutely beautiful, and I'm going to leave them until they succumb to the fall weather. So, but because they're not really with any other plantings, it doesn't stand out as obvious that, oh, we left those annuals and none of the other ones. Up here into the front garden, we do have plenty to remove. So in this basket we have more of the lovey-dovey, and across the way, same thing. Gets a little bit more sun, so there is a little bit more color. But you can see it's no longer just like a carpet, it's just sort of like a sparkling. And they're getting much smaller as they're coming open in the cooler weather. We have a whole bunch full of beautiful, bright pansies that can replace them very soon. Again, these pots only had one lovey-dovey Supertunia in them. There's a miniature rose and some Dusty Miller. The Dusty Miller I'll be removing and storing in the greenhouse. The rose will probably get cut back. I'm not sure. And once I do that, we'll look and see if there's still daffodils in there. If there is, they'll just stay here for the winter. If not, we'll get rid of the soil and plant something new in there. Let's move down this way. Sorry about all the weird sun glare. Getting into the shadows now. So I have a murder of crows up there. They're usually all at my neighbor's house, but something is bringing them here today. In front of the house, we have just a few. We recently planted mums in these smaller baskets. We're gonna move those up closer to the deck when we decorate. But I do have a couple of Super Tunia bubblegums to remove from this area and a couple more off to the side. I will say that I enjoyed how this particular Super Tunia kind of climbed up through the euonymus. It gave that shrub a little bit of colorful interest this year. And then this bubblegum, Super Tunia bubblegum, was probably our most successful one. And this is one plant. It looks about as good as the Lovey-Dovey did at this stage, but it was actually just a phenomenal color all summer long. And again, just one little plant. All right, then panning over here, we do have the Super Tunia Saffron Finch. Again, just one plant. And that's 4 plants in that wagon. I've got a few more to go. Alright, so I ended up just moving that container and that container out of here. They were really just placeholders while I filled in these beds. So now that these beds are pretty full, I might put one or two in a different area just to give it that summer color next year. Like maybe one right here and maybe one tucked in the front of the bed there, just to give it that bright, fun pop of color in the summertime. The only other one I have out here is this Supertunia Jazzberry, which struggled really hard this spring, came back really strong. It's still looking pretty great. It does have that little like dark purple Halloween kind of vibe that until these Rudbeckia go down, I'd like to just go ahead and let them keep blooming. The Vermillionaire is still in full bloom too. So, you know, there's just things that are gonna kind of season extenders, I suppose you might say. But up on the other side of the garden here, we have this Silverberry, which actually overwintered from the previous year, which is why it has much smaller and not as strong veining. Really fun that it came back. I'm gonna get rid of this pot. This is lemon balm. That's all that's left in here. We're gonna do something different with the lemon balm. I have lemon balm over there already, so I don't know that I'm gonna keep this patch or if I'm gonna give it away. Definitely doing something different with this container. So we're gonna remove the Silverberry. The Silverberry is a Vista. Obviously did not get as big as the bubblegum, or even the Lovey-Dovey, especially in its second year, but fun to know that it did overwinter. Now this is a Verbena that will also overwinter. I'm gonna cut this back and put it in the greenhouse. We will use this bright pink, I think this is like fuchsia or something like that. We will use this one in the garden plan next year. And then I had, seems like I had another annual over here somewhere. Oh, it's right here. This was the Hoopla Vivid Orchid. You have little remnants there, but you can see it's definitely dead. So we're gonna pull that out of there. And then I have leftover Sparkling Amethyst Verbena. It overwintered and now it has like, I don't know what, rust and whatnot. So we're just gonna remove that as well. And then what we have left in this container are these snapdragons that I grew from seed 2 years ago and they came back, and this Vermillionaire. So the snapdragons are going to get transplanted out along with the snapdragons in the backyard in another day or so. Let's just keep walking along this direction. I have another Supertunia in the ground right here. This was, it's like Picasso and purple or something like that. Also done for the season, and we can clearly see we need to weed out the buttercup again. But that does it for the front yard annuals that we're going to remove today. I'll put this and here. Okay. And then I'm just storing my empty bins right there. We're throwing the excess soil down here because I need to plant this blueberry. So that'll helped me bulk up that bed that was really, really low. Now let's go ahead and head over that direction, and we will pull all of the Supertunias out of what I call the estate garden, which is basically just the corner of our property. It was a really fun year with the annuals up there. Sneak peek, we've got asters blooming in here, both beach asters and Stokes asters. Just like a really fun purpley sparkle in there. And then we're gonna get rid of these Supertunia bubblegums and the saffron finch right there. All right, so then we removed all of those. Looks a lot cleaner, and now we can see how much we need to get up there and weed. All right, and now before we go up on the deck and get rid of the annuals and all the pots, we are going to come down here and get rid of the tiny petunias that we have in this little ladder. It's just 2 little petunias, but may as well grab them now. So those are empty. They came out in one big clump. And then we do have some nasturtiums down here that are annuals, but they're also doing really great. They give really fun fall interest. So we're gonna leave those until they're really ready to come out. And now we're gonna pop up stairs and remove the Supertunias and Super Bells from those containers. Yeah, pretty simple. We're just gonna take the baskets down and empty them. I don't expect there to be any soil left in those either. All of the baskets and rail container baskets are in here. You could see that the soil held their shape because they were so root bound. They could be a lot worse. You can see all the little surface roots holding the soil together, but not really any good soil to use again. So the porch is empty. I will probably just put pumpkins in the rail baskets without any liner for the next couple of months, and then they'll just sit waiting for spring. We used these liners. You can see how the soil, let's get out of the sun. This soil just came completely out of these things, and they're just good and clean. I can throw these in the washing machine so that they're good and sterile and clean for the next year. The baskets are empty, and I just need to take that third gorilla cart full of annuals to the compost, and that will be it for today's project. Simple and easy, and we're getting ready for Halloween. You can see our ghosts are starting to go up. So I was really looking forward to getting rid of the bright, cheerful pink and yellow flowers that were starting to fail for the season anyway. So now everything is a clean slate. I could decorate for fall and start dreaming about the next year. But yeah, sometimes it just feels really good, even though there was still a little bit of color left. Sometimes it's just nice to jump on that and clean things up, make everything look a little fresh for the next season, and we're not looking at half dead flowers. We're not dealing with like mushy, half rotten flowers, because in another week from now, when we get all the rains, that's exactly what would happen to all these annuals. They would just turn into brown mush, which would be kind of gross. So I'm glad I'm out here enjoying them and removing them now. And that's going to do it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope that you're celebrating your life, and I hope that you are dreaming into the next season with me. And we will see you in the next video. Bye.